During the height of Roman power, the Mediterranean, known as Mare Nostrum, was essential for trade and the expansion of the empire. But there was an invisible threat that weakened the security and economy of Rome: pirates. These invaders controlled vast areas of the sea, plundering ships and interrupting the vital flow of supplies and riches. Rome, the greatest land power in the world, suddenly found itself vulnerable in its own waters. But that was about to change. You might think that the military power of Rome was always enough to ensure absolute control over its trade routes. However, Mediterranean pirates proved to be a challenge that required a new strategic approach. That's where Pompey the Great came into play, with a bold naval campaign that not only eradicated the pirates, but transformed the Roman navy into an unparalleled force. How did Pompey achieve this feat in such a short time? And what tactics did he use to restore Roman control over the Mediterranean? Get ready to discover how the Roman navy became a crucial piece in defending the empire and how Pompey eliminated a threat that seemed invincible. During the height of the Roman Republic, the Mediterranean was considered the lifeblood of trade and communication for the empire. Stretching across 3 continents, it connected vital Roman provinces and allowed goods, people, and military forces to move freely. However, by the 1st century BC, this vast expanse of sea had become infested with pirates. These pirates, originally scattered bands from various coastal regions, gradually organized into larger groups that terrorized the seas. They developed a sophisticated network of hideouts along the rugged coastline of Cilicia in modern-day Turkey, from where they launched their raids. The pirates' rise was not a sudden phenomenon, but a consequence of Rome's own internal struggles. The political instability caused by civil wars and the growing corruption within the Senate meant that naval defenses were neglected for years. As Rome turned its focus inward, pirates took advantage of the weakened naval patrols and began targeting merchant ships, cutting off the flow of vital goods like grain and slaves to the capital. Roman citizens, including wealthy merchants, were captured and held for ransom, increasing the pirates' wealth and influence. These maritime raiders did not limit their activities to looting ships. They brazenly attacked Roman coastal towns and even threatened major cities like Ostia, the port of Rome itself. Their raids caused widespread fear and disrupted the economy. Without safe maritime routes, prices of essential goods skyrocketed, and food shortages became a recurring issue. For an empire that prided itself on its control of the Mediterranean, this was a humiliating and dangerous situation. The scale of the problem grew so large that Rome could no longer ignore it. The pirates' boldness reached its peak when they desecrated the sacred island of Delos, a religious and trade hub, an act that shocked the Roman public. The Senate, recognizing the severity of the threat, understood that drastic measures were needed. It was clear that the traditional Roman approach of sporadic naval patrols and minor military expeditions had failed. What Rome needed was a comprehensive naval campaign. As the Roman Republic faced the threat of losing control over its vital sea lanes, the challenge of dealing with these pirates required not just military might, but strategic brilliance. This set the stage for one of Rome's greatest military leaders to rise to the occasion, a man whose career had already made him a legend: Pompey the Great. Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus, better known as Pompey the Great, had earned his reputation through a series of military successes that demonstrated both his tactical genius and his political acumen. By the time the pirate crisis had reached its zenith, Pompey was already one of the most celebrated figures in Roman history. Despite his youth, he had been entrusted with command over critical campaigns, including Rome's wars in Spain and Africa. His rise was meteoric, and his ability to navigate the treacherous waters of Roman politics made him the perfect candidate to lead the charge against the pirates. Pompey's appointment came as part of the Lex Gabinia, a law passed in 67 BC that granted him unprecedented powers. This law gave Pompey command over the entire Mediterranean and its coastal regions up to 50 miles inland, with absolute authority over Roman resources and military forces. Such power was usually reserved for dictators, and it spoke to the level of desperation that the Roman Senate felt at the time. No other commander had been given such sweeping control before. and it was a testament to the Senate's belief that only Pompey could deliver the victory Rome so desperately needed. What made Pompey's approach different from his predecessors was his strategic insight into the nature of the pirate threat. Instead of simply deploying the Roman fleet in a reactionary manner, he devised a plan that would simultaneously strike at the pirates' operational bases while securing the key shipping lanes. Pompey divided the Mediterranean into distinct zones, each with its own fleet and commander, ensuring that the pirates would have nowhere to run. His use of local intelligence networks and his emphasis on rapid, coordinated action meant that the pirates were hunted down with relentless precision. Pompey's reputation alone also played a critical role in his success. Many pirate bands, knowing of his ruthless efficiency and Rome's newfound determination, surrendered without a fight, hoping to avoid brutal reprisals. Those who did resist were swiftly dealt with. Within just 3 months, Pompey had cleared the western Mediterranean of pirates, a feat that had seemed impossible just a year earlier. His forces then moved eastward, closing in on the pirates' strongholds in Cilicia, the heart of their operations. Pompey's campaign was not just a military triumph. It was a demonstration of the power that a well-organized and strategically minded commander could bring to bear. His actions restored Rome's dominance over the Mediterranean, and the pirates, once a fearsome force, were reduced to scattered remnants. Pompey's success solidified his status as one of Rome's greatest leaders, and the Mediterranean once again became Rome's Mare Nostrum, our sea. Pompey's success against the pirates wasn't a result of sheer force alone. It was his mastery of strategy that truly set him apart. One of his first moves after receiving command was to create a comprehensive plan that focused on quick and decisive action. Understanding that the Mediterranean was too vast to patrol effectively with a single fleet, he divided the sea into several operational zones. Each zone had its own naval squadron, overseen by trusted commanders, all of whom were coordinated under Pompey's central authority. This method ensured that the pirates could not escape to distant corners of the sea, a common tactic they had used to evade capture in the past. His strategy also involved securing crucial choke points and trade routes. The western Mediterranean was dealt with swiftly, as Pompey's forces secured areas near Spain, Italy, and North Africa. These regions were vital for Rome's grain supply, and their liberation ensured that commerce could resume safely. From there, he turned his attention to the eastern Mediterranean, where the pirates had established stronger footholds, particularly in Cilicia. By securing the sea lanes first, Pompey effectively cut off the pirates' ability to move freely or resupply, weakening them before the final confrontations. Pompey's use of intelligence was another key factor. He employed local knowledge and spies to track pirate movements and predict their raids. This intelligence network allowed him to preemptively strike pirate enclaves and ambush them before they could organize counterattacks. Rather than simply reacting to pirate raids, Pompey's forces anticipated their moves, catching them off guard and eroding their ability to regroup. His use of surprise attacks on pirate bases became a hallmark of the campaign. The speed of Pompey's campaign was astonishing. In just 40 days, he had cleared the western Mediterranean, and within 3 months, the entirety of the Mediterranean was under Roman control again. This rapid success was due to his meticulous planning and the discipline of the Roman Navy, which had undergone significant reforms under his leadership. The ships were faster, better armed, and the sailors more experienced after years of neglect. Pompey's ability to mobilize and train his forces in such a short time was critical to the campaign's success. By the end of the campaign, Pompey had captured or killed thousands of pirates, reclaimed over 400 ships, and freed countless Roman citizens who had been taken as slaves or held for ransom. The sheer scale of the victory was unprecedented. The Mediterranean, once a haven for marauders, had been transformed into a secure waterway under Rome's control, ensuring the empire's economic stability for years to come. With the Mediterranean secured, Pompey turned his attention to the pirates' heartland in Cilicia. This region, with its rugged coastline and hidden coves, had been the perfect hideout for pirate fleets for decades. It was here that Pompey aimed to deliver the final blow, destroying the pirates' strongholds and ensuring they would never rise again. The campaign in Cilicia was swift and decisive. Pompey's forces attacked the fortified pirate bases with overwhelming force, leaving no room for escape or recovery. Entire pirate fleets were either captured or destroyed, and their leaders were executed or forced into hiding. Pompey's treatment of the defeated pirates, however, was not entirely ruthless. Many of the surviving pirates were offered a form of clemency. Instead of being executed, they were resettled in various Roman territories, particularly in undepopulated regions like Cyrenaica in North Africa. This policy not only avoided further rebellion, but also helped to repopulate and stabilize regions that had suffered from depopulation due to wars and piracy. It was a pragmatic approach that demonstrated Pompey's ability to balance military might with political foresight. The eradication of the pirate threat had far-reaching consequences for the Roman Republic. With the sea lane secure, Rome's economy rebounded quickly. Trade resumed without the constant fear of raids, and food supplies, particularly grain from Egypt and Africa, flowed freely into the capital once again. The importance of this victory cannot be overstated. Rome's dominance over the Mediterranean was solidified, and the security of its maritime empire ensured its continued expansion. Pompey's triumph also cemented his legacy as one of Rome's greatest military leaders. His success against the pirates was not just a demonstration of naval prowess, but also a testament to his organizational skills and strategic mind. The campaign became a model for future Roman commanders who faced asymmetric threats, showing that a well-planned and executed strategy could overcome even the most elusive of enemies. Although Pompey would go on to face other challenges in his career, the victory over the pirates remained one of his crowning achievements. It elevated his status to near-mythical proportions in Rome, making him a key player in the turbulent politics of the late Republic. His success ensured that the Mediterranean would remain Rome's domain for centuries, free from the terror of piracy, and it marked a turning point in the history of the Roman Navy, which had proven itself a force to be reckoned with under his command.